X500 John Deere all-terrain riding mower, 25 horsepower Kawasaki engine urchased new. 300 hours now on mower. Mower repeatedly shuts off while mowing, sometimes backfires, sometimes cranks back up and sometimes will not. Have replaced coils and professionally adjusted gap, fuel pump, spark plugs, checked gas lines. Has been doing this for quite a while, and has now gotten worse. What can be causing this?
Welcome to Just Answer Small Engines. Let me try to help you. Full size image. XXXXX is electric solenoid. Full size image. XXXXX on this SN brake. Both are anti-backfire solenoids that shut off the main jet and the carburetor. Best test is to remove it and plug the hole. If you have the second type, not so easy, it holds the float bowl on. It will shut off engine, cause backfiring, and may or may not reset so engine will start. May not be problem, but worth looking at. Check it out, solenoid should click when key is turned on. It has to stay open, or engine dies, requires 12 volts to work. Learn the click, then when unit dies, see if you hear the click when turning key on and off.
The mower seems to have the electric solenoid that is in diagram MP 34619. If you unplug it, the mower will not crank. I just checked, and it seems to click when I turn on the key. How can I remove it, so the mower will crank, and how will I know it is bad? Can we continue this conversation? Do you know if a special tool is required to remove the solenoid? Tested your comments while mowing. When the mower died, it still clicked when turning the key on, but only when the parking brake was engaged.
Only with parking brake applied? If you have the one on the side, you can remove it and plug the hole, using metric bolt and washer or even a wooden dowel, anything to plug the hole. Best test to test with it removed, or if the tip can be removed, remove the tip and reinstall to test.
Just rechecked, yes, the click is only when the parking brake is applied. As for the solenoid, it is on the front of the engine, not the side. Appears to be right at the bottom of the carburetor. Would it be removed the same way? Also, could there be a switch on the brake assembly that could be linked to the solenoid that could be triggering something?
Not sure why solenoid would be linked to brake switch, never saw that. It should be direct to key switch and should activate when key is turned on and stay on, retracted, until key is turned off. If you have the solenoid in the bottom of carb, it likely is holding the bowl in place. That makes it hard to bypass without damaging the solenoid. A bowl bolt could be used in place of the solenoid, or the tip would have to be removed from solenoid, which likely is not removable. So it would ruin solenoid if it turned out to be something else. Could the click you hear be a relay, and not the solenoid at the carb?
Just checked again. I put my fingers on the solenoid and turn the key. I can feel it click and hear it click. That is only if the parking brake is on. I looked at the brake assembly. It appears that there is a switch which disengages the blades when the brakes are pushed on. What do you mean by relay? Where would that be? I know it has fuses. I appreciate your help and time trying to resolve this.
The check on the solenoid has to be done when mower dies and won't start.
Okay. One more thing. Sometimes when it shuts off and will not crank back right away, I can shake the gas line and it will crank right up.
When you shake the hose, are you moving anything else? Wires? Not sure why gas line would affect anything. The fuel pump has already been changed per your list.
Yes, a new fuel pump was put on. When shaking the hose, it is attached to wiring harness, close to the fuse box, so that moves as well. After our conversation about the solenoid, I went and ran the mower. While mowing, the mower stopped, and I got off the mower, put my hand on the solenoid, and, with the brake on, turned the key and I felt and heard it click.
Did mower restart immediately? When it does not start will be time to check the solenoid. It may be losing voltage, by you shaking the wire harness.
Yes, it starts immediately, but not every time. The wiring harness that the hose is attached to appears to be to an extra plug with a jump wire, must be for some attachment for the mower.
I think you are losing voltage to the solenoid, and problem may have something to do with this harness.
So, do you think I should have the wiring checked? I had it in the shop for repairs and they could find nothing wrong. Brought it home and mowed, and it kept cutting off while mowing.
I would do my own checking. You are in the right area, and are close to putting your hand on the problem. Maybe, you could remove the fuel hose from the wiring and see if you see any connection points or worn areas in the harness.
Okay, thanks. I examined the wires and connections in the harness and can see no worn areas. I also checked the fuses and they are all fine.
Looks like you will have to run it until it quits and do some checks then. Hard to fix something that isn't broke.
You are absolutely right. Thanks. From what I have seen online, I am not the only one who has experienced this problem with this particular Kawasaki engine on this model John Deere. And lots of fixes to try, even down to using gasoline without 0% ethanol, which I did also. You have been very helpful though with more things to look at. I might just try replacing the solenoid. If you hear of something, I would appreciate your letting me know. You can contact me at this email, 30@XXXXX. 30 or 3034X, Louisville, North Carolina.
I would disable the solenoid if it were mine. I would rip the inner tip off it and leave it unplugged. Then use it as a dummy. The solenoid is anti-backfire solenoid and is only there to keep engine from backfiring when the key is turned off. With it not working, the engine may backfire once when you turn off the key. There is no other purpose for the solenoid. Older engines never have them.
I have tried unplugging the wire to the solenoid, and the mower will not start at all. When you plug the wire back, it will then crank. When the mower shuts down, it backfires while the key is still turned on. Sometimes when you crank it back up after it has stopped, it will blow out black smoke as if it is flooded.
I just know that the solenoid can cause all these symptoms. I see new units with non-working solenoids and are one of the most troublesome items on the newer models.
I'm looking at the parts list for this John Deere Mower X500. We are talking about the same solenoid, yes. I see this parts list shows one for the starter and one for fuel. The one I have been referring to is located on the bottom of the carburetor, and there is a drain where you can drain the carburetor bowl.
Correct, on the bottom of the carburetor.
I'm going to remove the fuel solenoid and check it to make sure it is working properly.
You will find it working fine now. But it is after it runs and won't start that it will act up.
I took off the solenoid and checked it, and as you stated, it worked fine. So, I rode around on the mower for as long as I could today, in between rain, and of course it never cut off. You have definitely earned an excellent rating, but if you do not mind, I would like to leave this conversation open for a bit longer, until I can test the mower again tomorrow, when there should be no rain, to see if the mower cuts off and then check the solenoid. Hopefully a little more info for you as well will possibly help you and someone else if they happen to contact you about this same problem.
Sure, keep it open as long as you like. I'm retired and do this to keep busy. Thanks.
Good afternoon. I mowed for over an hour today, and the mower cut off 3 times. Each time the mower recranked immediately. Kept waiting for it to not start, so after the 3rd time, 45 minutes of mowing, I checked the solenoid and it clicked right away as soon as I engaged the brake and turned the key to start it.
Hard to find problem if it starts as soon as it quits.
So very true. I have been dealing with this for some time. But, thanks for all your suggestions, your conversations, and your help. You have given me a lot of ideas and areas to look at. I will not hold you up on this any longer, but please, if you happen to find some information that might be of help from someone else who has or are facing the same problem, please let me know.
I would find me a bolt and replace the solenoid, then test run the unit. If it still shuts off, replace the solenoid and look for wiring problem.
Okay, that will be where I go to from here. Thanks for all of your help.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert now, visit justanswer.com/ythi.